We've remembered a lot this season, but on this episode, we're remembering Macho Mazzi. Stay tuned. It's the Family Reunion After Show.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is the Family Reunion After Show, and today we are talking episode 8, Remembering Macho Mazzi. I'm your host, Alexis Brown, and to the left of me, I have some beautiful co-hosts. My first co-host loves Beyonce as much as I do. It is Chae.
Hey guys, that is very true. I'm feeling the spirit, if you didn't know.
Yes, it's in the room. And we also have Zakiyyah, who is also a Beehive stan, because we wouldn't have it any other way.
Of course.
All right, so as I mentioned, this is episode 8, Remembering Macho Mazzi. But along the way, we talk about Madeira's health journey, Macho Mazzi, of course, and Jade, the pageant queen. But before we get into all of that, ladies, what did we think of today's episode?
I loved it. I thought it was very interesting of two different aspects in Mazi's and Jade's life. And it really hit close on a lot of amazing topics.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think?
I loved it. I love the Black Queen aspect. I think this is my favorite episode.
Nice.
Just because she understands and appreciates who she is.
Yes. I think this was such a beautiful episode. We talk a lot about just, Black women remaining healthy and dealing with our blood pressure. We talk about natural beauty with Jade's journey with the pageant. And we also deal with what we're going to talk about first is Mazi's battle with being macho or musical. So we started off, we meet Mazi, who we already know and love. We know that he's not super duper like athletic Superman. He's more of, likes musicals and like to bake. And we get into that in the beginning, and he overhears his dad kind of just confirming what we kind of already knew, and he refers to him as musical, and it hurt Mazi's feelings. What do you think? I know for me, I felt like I wouldn't have got as offended as I did by being called musical, especially if I do musicals. But what did you guys think? Would you have been hurt too?
I think for Mazi's, he thinks that his dad doesn't feel like he's much of a man, and per se, and being musical is something that isn't manly enough.
Yeah.
To for his dad to be proud of him.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's why he does go out for football, because he feels like if I now join football, this is something my dad can do together, and he'll see me as athletic like he sees Shaka.
What do you think?
I think the same, like Mazi just wants to please or his dad or have that dad or that father-son relationship, with all boys want. So for him, it was like, wow, my dad doesn't think that I would watch football or enjoy football just as much as he does.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have to switch it up. Maybe I should do this football thing and get more gangster like macho man like, instead of being so calm and fun, I guess.
Yeah, and it's probably, and I didn't even think about it until you gave your opinions, Zakiyyah, it's probably an even more added pressure to feel like you have to be that manly, athletic man when your dad is an NFL player.
Exactly.
So that probably added on to that. What do you think?
I'm for sure. Just seeing how people look up to his father, and then seeing that, hey, my dad doesn't see me in the same light as him, for sure.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, because of that, he ends up trying out for the football team, and to everyone's surprise, he actually ends up being really good. Were you all shocked that he was good?
No, I mean, obviously he can't be like defensive or offensive, but running back, he could spin circles around those boys, and he did. Also because of his modern dance class, which is also something a lot of football coaches have their players do, ballet, some type of dance, so they can get really into the movement of being a football. It's not so much always about strength in football as much as it is about more grace.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing. At first, I was shocked, but when he mentioned he did dance, I'm like, oh, okay, because I love dance. I did dance younger, and I had the same thing in dance class. A lot of football players would be in our dance class because of being better athletic or athletes. So, yeah.
I was the only girl on a football team. When I was 12.
Interesting.
For me, I loved dancing because I was dancing since I was 4. I did ballet, tap, and all that other stuff, but I also just love sports. I loved being active, and football was just something else I could spend my time doing. And it was funny for me as a girl when I knocked down the boys and they realized, oh, I am actually a girl that just put you on your butt.
Yeah.
It's still the funniest story my mom will ever tell anybody because she laughs about it. I mean, I laugh too. I just think it's interesting when boys found out that I'm a girl and you kind of just got knocked down by one. That was the highlight. I still have my trophy. It's chilling in my house. I was MVP. Yeah, what up?
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So getting back to Mazi, Chae's having flashbacks over here. But what was funny to me in that situation when he mentioned, it was because of the modern dance, was how as soon as he said that his dad was like, go get the car. Like it was still, even though he had done so well on the football field, there was still kind of that shame. And that's what made me realize, okay, now I get why Mazi, even though his dad just said he was musical and he is musical, there was a different,
tone.
Yeah, it wasn't. He was saying something different.
And you seen that when he got validation, when the coach was like, actually, you guys all should take dance. He was more like, okay, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Let's wait. Don't get the car yet.
Yeah.
We're seeing some improvement. So he needed validation from someone else.
Yeah.
That his son was okay, which kind of was a little disheartening.
Yeah.
But I understand, like he said, we say stupid things, him and his brother Daniel. So I'm like,
And
okay.
they're both just like, I'm glad I'm not his uncle. I was like, Daniel, sit down.
Yeah, but even in all of that, and kind of just being disappointed that Mose was acting that way, I don't think his intention was to be hurtful. So I think, really kind of following that conflict was something that was important to see, because you can see it from both sides. So I enjoyed watching it for that reason. But before we go on, Zakiyyah, you have a message for our listeners?
I do, guys. We want to thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. We absolutely love what we do. And for us to continue to grow, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us thumbs up. Many thumbs up. And then also give us 5 stars on iTunes, and we'll keep coming back to you in every form of listening or viewing.
Yeah. All right, so let's get right back into it. So while Mazi is kind of chasing his dad's dream, we see Jade kind of doing the same with Coco. She decides she wants to do a pageant, and we discover that Coco did pageant. She was Miss Rancho Cucamonga. So she is ecstatic to see that Jade wants to be a pageant queen, but eventually she realizes that Jade doesn't want her to be her pageant coach. What did you guys think? I was sad for her.
I mean, it's a lesson you gotta learn. I feel like just because somebody seems shinier and has had a lot of successfulness, you shouldn't always knock your parent who went through the same thing you're about to go through too, and their knowledge.
I mean, after she did the whole spoon routine, I wasn't necessarily sure. I was a little bit with Jay, like, Mom, the whole spoon is okay. Let's get that out of here. But again, just seeing how everything unfolded. Yes, I'm sure she learned, and so did I, that, hey, Mom was the better bet.
Yeah. And so her mom, just being the supportive mom that she was, let her get the other pageant coach. And we end up finding out that the pageant coach is really big on her really... I don't want to say embracing her blackness, because that sounds too nice, because that's not exactly what she was doing, but basically kind of trying to sell her blackness to win. Like, you need to be darker and wear your hair more natural and say these type of things so that you're seen more black, because right now, ethnicity and being diverse is in. I mean, do you all feel that way? I kind of feel sometimes too that people see diversity as like a fad, as a niche, sort of.
Go ahead.
So I do feel that we are now more accepting ourselves, and everyone is accepting ourselves, and we're being more vocal with it. Do I feel like it's a fad or a niche? It does come off within social media as such, because we're so happy and proud, but I think people are misunderstanding that trend. It's not a trend because, oh, this is in. It's a trend because we're finally accepting who we are and our full natural beauty. But yeah, I do see where she, from the outside looking in, could think that this is a trend. Yes. Unfortunately.
What do you think?
For Haven to, I think for somebody who is outside and who isn't the person of color, that's what you think, that's what you view as being a person of color. You're supposed to be darker, but I'm black, regardless of how light or dark my skin tone is. I am black. Nothing's gonna change if you orange myself up.
or if you make my hair more curlier or kinkier
or natural, it really won't. And I want to say I shout out to Coco for really just saying what you heard. Orange is not the new black. This does not look natural. This is not what being black is. And my daughter is a black woman. She just is.
Yeah,
she's in touch with it. She doesn't need you to tell her what isn't, what not. Just because you got some cornrows, I don't need you to sit down. Like
butt pads,
like wearing the African garb.
She's just like, I mean, and then her whole story, she's like, as she's trying to spray tan her to somehow come out darker, she's like, I used to date a black guy once.
Yeah,
Daddy didn't like that. I mean, that's a great story and everything, but that doesn't really have anything to do with me trying to win this competition.
Yeah, and
I mean, I was just. It's not a niche. It's not something that's going to fade. We've been around for some years. So,
yeah. Well, I'm not saying I necessarily think it will fade. I know one thing for me that kind of made me start thinking that people do see it in that way, and that's why I'm glad they did this episode, because it kind of put light on that, was I used to work at a television studio, and a producer said, oh my gosh, you need to buy this show. It has a black writer, and she put like black in all caps, and it was like, you should buy this because it's a black writer. And it just kind of made me wonder, did you attach a black writer because you felt like they would bring value, because you felt like black writers have value, or did you want to attach it because you thought it would sell? And that was kind of an eye-opener for me. So that's why I'm glad that they touched on this in this episode. Just blabbering on about my life, but it made me think about that.
I just want to add to that Coco and these natural hairstyles, I'm feeling it. So like you can see the transition. She's getting comfortable in her own skin, and even Jade now is starting to wear her curly hair after the pageant incident. But I love it, and I'm even like, okay, what she do? She braided and she swooped it back, because I think I'm gonna wear that ponytail just like that for the next time we come on air.
Super proud of that moment.
Yeah.
So kind of going back, and you guys watched. The pageant coach gave her a horrible orange Donald Trump tan. Oh, gosh. And they put an afro wig on her, and that was her just embracing her black beauty for the pageant. But Mama Coco was like, no. And she helped fix her up, and she had her just be her natural self. She had her natural curls. She didn't wear any makeup, and she ended up winning the pageant. Yeah. And I think that was just a beautiful message to our viewers that, you don't have to have all of that to be a winner or to be a queen. You can just be natural.
And natural is definitely beautiful.
Yes. So going back to Mazi, he's on the football team. He's hanging out with football players, but he's starting to abandon his friends, and he's starting to be more mean. You see him get snappy with his mom. A play doesn't go right during a game. He starts throwing things, and it's just acting out. What did you guys think of that?
I think it was a great message to Coco bring up that it is a little bit toxic masculinity, and to just highlight that, because there's no one saying there's anything wrong with being aggressive. What we're saying is trying to like let boys be boys isn't cool anymore, because being a boy isn't aggressive in the fact that you're mean or you're just downplaying other people to make you look better. It's just, it shouldn't be, especially when I ask you what's the magic word and you say now. And you have both the father and the uncle just, nope, I'm not even here. Because you don't talk to, especially your mom like that. Regardless, I raised you better than this.
Yeah.
But I think that also just showed how much pain Mazi was internalizing. Because he was trying to be the person who thought his dad wanted him to be versus who he should be inside.
Yeah. And that ended up leading to a conversation with Mazi and Mose, because Mose saw the anger and he's like, this is not my son. My son is not like this. And it comes out that, Mazi did hear Mose and what he said, and that he felt like he had to do this and not that he wanted to do this. And we even saw his trumpet in the trash. Yeah. And it's like, wow, you really gave up a part of yourself for your dad. What do you think was going through Moses' mind? Do you think it was regret that he said what he said, or what do you think it was?
I think it was definitely probably for sure regret, but at the same time it just shows how words, what we say can project on our children and how they interpret things. So where Mose probably wasn't saying it like you said in that way, but the way Mazi interpreted it was different, and so he acted with these actions of, this is what a macho man is supposed to be, and his dad really came to him and he's like, hey, this isn't what a man is.
Yeah.
A man can be in all forms. And I love that speech that they had with each other. Because it was saying, like, you don't have to be a man to go out and throw beers and crash them on your head. That was the image I got. I don't know why. But, like, you can be into music. You can be into fashion. And that conversation was, like... Yes, on point. Yeah. Ding, ding,
because
ding.
a man comes in different forms. It doesn't just come in from playing sports. It can be a baker. It can be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
Being a man. Also, what he said, knowing your limitations and knowing who you are. Yes. That is what being a man is.
Right. And so we got lessons on natural beauty and, you know, being who you are and how you can still be a winner in that way. And in the same thing with Mazi, being who you are and not feeling like you have to fit in a certain box. But another lesson we got in this is a lesson about health. And, you know, it's funny that this happened to Madea. Okay, let's just talk about it. Yeah. So Madea has high blood pressure and she doesn't want to take her blood pressure medicine. She thinks there's other ways to do this. And I think this is a great lesson because we deal with that a lot in the Black community. They either don't go to the doctor, they go to the doctor, they don't do what the doctor tells them to do, or they don't want to take this medicine, they think there's some other remedy for it.
She tries them all.
Right, exactly. So she tries meditation, she even starts drinking, child, like she's doing everything.
So mint juleps like the South predicts.
Made me want some sweet tea, okay, and not just the regular sweet tea.
Okay.
But you really see her just kind of deal with her health, and then eventually she realizes that she has to take her medicine and take care of herself. What did you guys think of that?
I think it's nice that Mabel, we saw a lot more of Mabel this episode to try to help her sister and actually do the activities with her sister because she wants her sister to still be around. She wants, you know, to have that relationship. And, you know, they try yoga together. They couldn't hold it for 3 minutes. And then they have spaghetti.
Yeah, instead of salad.
Yeah.
She's like, I tried lettuce. Didn't have that. But I had butter noodles. And I just, like you said, is something that needs to be talked about, especially for our community. A lot of people in the Black community definitely suffer from high blood pressure. And it's not something that we should push, you know, to the wayside or not listen to our doctors because we still need you. We still need our family in our lives. And we need you to take it a little bit more seriously. And for Mabel to be like, look, I understand what you're doing and what you're trying to do, but it's not working.
Yeah.
And your family needs you, I need you, so I really just need you to listen to me. And then she says it in a louder voice so you hear me. Because I'm your sister.
Right.
So I thought that was a very sweet moment to see just them not arguing with each other a lot, but also just hearing each other.
Right.
And I agree. I think sometimes in situations of health, it does take someone that we are eye to eye with. In a sense, because I feel like Mabel is someone that Madea, even though they go back and forth, that's the only person she would listen to because she feels like everyone else is like, I don't need to take your advice. You don't know what you're talking about. So that relationship they had and that they brought together was really beautiful in a sense. And it was important to just the health topic and to talk about it within the Black community. Completely agree.
Yes. So many lessons in this episode, and then we saw Jade end up on top. We saw Madea taking her health back, and we saw Mazi realizing that he doesn't have to be a macho man. He can be the man that he is. Yes. I thought about that song as I watched this episode. All right, guys, let's get into our special segment.
So I love that. So this special segment is called Black Queens. So each of us on this panel is going to give you the name of either celebrity or somebody who has won, who is of African American descent, won either Miss World, Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, or even Miss Rancho Cucamonga, you know? So Miss Zakiyyah, you want to start it off?
Well, for Black queens, I would say my favorite Black queen, I guess right now, is Angela Davis. Just because we spoke about her in the show and all of the things that she has done. And I'm going to leave it at that because then I can go on and on. But
Miss Alexis.
I think my favorite queen, and it sucks that she didn't get to be a queen for very long, is Vanessa Williams. Yes. Because I think even in the situation where she did have to step down from her title, she took it with grace, and she has continued to blow up. She's been acting, she's been singing, she's had shows, and it just shows you can't hold a Black woman down. Even if you take away the crown from us, we are still a queen.
Yep, that is definitely true. And for me, I will say Miss Halle Berry for winning. We all grew up on Halle Berry. We just grew up watching her, and she continues to get better with age. And also the fact that on a red carpet she made sure to stop and talk to all the Black journalists that were there because her publicists were trying to keep that from happening. But she said, you know what, I have to take a moment and talk to my brothers and sisters because it is important. So I really appreciated that.
Yes, love that. Love talking about Black queens.
Yes.
All right, Zakiyyah, let's get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So I have a clip, guys. You need to see it. So our Mazi is such a great singer. He can sing. View this, please.
Oh, and he's singing with Charlie Wilson.
I wanted you guys to be such shocked.
And he can play the
surprised.
guitar.
Yes. He's musical.
My girl.
Oh, Mazi, I love it.
You better sing.
That just made me love him even more.
He's so cute. So cute.
And I just love kind of like.
Meanwhile, Shaka's just sitting there like, "Oh, this is nothing." He just busts out beautiful music every day, all day.
Every day.
I'm just gonna keep on my iPad, you know.
I love that.
Yes,
Thanks,
if
Zakiyyah.
you're welcome.
I love seeing stuff like that.
If you guys love that, check out his Instagram. He has another one where he does her song with his guitar again. So he's very much so musical and macho at the same time.
I love it. So Mazi to a T,
Yes.
basically. Perfect casting. All right, guys, let's quickly do some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict that we're gonna learn more about the family, and I'm just super excited for it.
Okay.
I predict that we're gonna learn more about Mose, maybe his background,
Interesting.
upbringing.
And I predict that we are just going to see a lot more funny moments in family time. And we still haven't really seen our Coco and Madeira showdown, so maybe that'll be on episode 9 or 10.
Maybe.
Let's see. All right, guys. Well, before we get out of here, you want to tell us where they can find you?
Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me on Instagram at Zakiyyah W_.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Lexi Fierce. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, buzz you later.
Bye guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.